And there it is, $50 silver, third time in U.S. history. Clearly something's wrong. We're going to find out what it is. Let's talk about this. All right, so I want to take a minute, share some thoughts. Oh man, $50 silver. Man, been looking for this day for quite some time now, and here we are. And I'm not excited. Just because to see the pace at which it has hit 50 along with $4,000 gold is concerning to me. Just because whenever things appear to be favorable for the people, there's always something thrown our way that calms things down or disrupts, distracts, or whatever. And that's where I'm like, man, like clearly we're not even nowhere near the real end of this year yet. With what 3 months left or so, anything is possible. And that's where I'm like, man, what can happen between now and December heading in 2026? I wish it could say it's going to be great all in all, but then again, I'm gonna take this moment and at least cheer on those that's been patient, those that have been preparing for the end game, because clearly, when it comes to the monetary system, this is what a end game scenario looks like. So let's just jump into it. I got lots of things on the URL that I want to share with you. So first and foremost, let's jump right into it, man. Here we are, $51. I just checked it and it was 50. Come on now. Talk to me. What's going on? $51, a dollar up, $1.58. Something got. Let me refresh my screen. Okay. Oh, man. Okay. It came down. It came down 8 cents. But look at this. Early morning activity. Anything is possible, especially when we get closer to the Crimex time frame. Open up. They're gonna slam this down or not? Because if they don't slam this down, how can this not make headline news? Is my question. How can this not make headline news? This is the third time in history that silver has touched 50 Federal Reserve notes. So let me just put this in perspective. It now takes 50 Federal Reserve notes to acquire. Where you go? Where's my 1 ounce? To acquire 1 ounce of silver. 1 ounce of silver. Could you imagine? Like here, I got a little Indian head. Could you imagine 100 years ago thinking that it'll require 50 of these and counting to acquire 1 ounce of silver? And then during that time frame, an ounce was literally a Morgan dollar. It was less a little less weight wise, but you get my drift. It was literally a day's wage for some. And here we are now, $50 an ounce. And so, man, this is just a monumental time period. This is a monumental time period. Don't know what else to tell you, people, but I do know one thing: we will see, and we are seeing history. Let me show it to you straight here on the screen. This is what I'm talking about. It has touched 50-ish 3 times. And what's different about this time is the fact that this time we're at all-time high in debt, all-time high in fiat currency creation. And this is a global event taking place. Every nation, for the most part, is experiencing the same issues the U.S. is facing, and we are the reserve currency. And that's where things get alarming, because we're literally witnessing a reset in real time, and there's nothing that the powers that be appear to be able to do about it. And therefore, as I scroll through the X community, I see Bessent, Treasury Secretary Bessent, coming out talking about the U.S. is going to acquire more Bitcoin. They're going to get, more Bitcoin and Bitcoin. I'm like, here we are, a monumental time period. Haven't seen this since 2011-ish, but prior to that, 1980, and it's only happened 3 times. And it's a true sign of what is really taking place. It is a destruction of our currency in real time, literally. And just put it in a greater perspective from a historical standpoint as to why this time is different. Let me just give you some more charts and more graphs here. Let's just take it a little deeper. Here on the screen, you see the federal debt, total debt, and this is what a lot of the noise is about. So literally, as of right now, 36, and this is, a quarter old, $36 trillion, but actual it's 37. But you get my drift. But once again, we've never witnessed $37 trillion worth of Federal Reserve notes, digital and paper in circulation that must be accounted for. Every one of these notes must be accounted for. Meaning, in order to extinguish this, either debt has to explode, be debased, or there needs to be a debt jubilee, a wiping of the slate, going back to zero, which they won't let that happen. So they're going to use more of these to paper over the problems that we have. And as you see here, the only thing this thing is going to go is up. And then you look at the three historical landmarks that I just referred to when it comes to the price of silver. Here, if we go back to silver's first all-time high back in 1980-ish, right here, during a recessionary time frame, the amount of debt our nation was in, public debt rather, was $877 billion. $877 billion. Just keep that number in mind. And then to take it even further, if we look at M2, which is the currency in circulation, let's also look at that same time frame, and you'll get an idea as to what I'm referring to. Let me get myself out the way here. At the same time, we had $877 billion worth of public debt. We also had $1.5 trillion in M2, which makes up base money, checking, savings, credit markets, things of that nature. So there was less than $1 trillion in debt and 1.5 trillion of available paper and digits available. Peanuts. And we touched 50. So think about that. This was in the beginning. This is when we left the gold standard. So this is the repercussions of a solely fiat system that was being implemented to the world. And the result was the backlash of the 70s, stagflation, extreme inflation, gold, silver got out of hand because people at that time remembered the importance of gold and silver, so they were racing to it. And of course, the Hunt brothers and everything else cornered the market when it came to silver. Okay, so what does that mean? Now, the last time we saw $50 silver was about right here or so. Let me make sure I'm on the screen correctly. So literally 2011-ish. So once again, remind you, here we are now. This is 2011-ish. And so the second wave right here. And let's just look at this. Let me get back to my screen. So how much debt? We had 13-ish. So 13, 14-ish and climbing. 13, 14-ish and climbing. 13, 14-ish and climbing. $1 trillion. How much is circulation in paper? We had 8.8-ish. 8.8-ish. 8 to 9 trillion. 8 to 9 trillion. So 13 trillion in debt. 13 trillion national debt. And 8 to 9 trillion in paper. So you see the difference between 800 billion in debt to 1.5 trillion in currency. Fast forward, we had 13 trillion in debt-ish, 8 to 9 trillion-ish in paper and digits. And we touched 50. We know what happened around that time frame. Great financial crisis, system collapse, Lehman Brothers, all the subprime lending fiasco. And they came in and what? They stimulated, created more paper, added onto the debt. They manipulated, slammed the price of silver down. 50 went down to, at a minimum, I think we got it down like 14, 11. Bottom of it, like, was it 12, 11 during the pandemic time frame? Okay. Crisis area. Whenever there's a crisis, silver surged. Gold surged. So let me just bring it home. Here we are now. What could be the last wave before the great unraveling? Put myself right here. Look at this. Back at it. 50-ish. Early morning. Can we say crisis territory? If all the other previous two were crisis territory, here we are now. Crisis territory. And what makes this crisis different than any other crisis is the debt load and the currency. Everything must be accounted for. There's no escaping this. And so that's why I continue to remind people of the end game, what the end game looks like. We are in the end game. This is what it looks like. Accountability, transparency, must be front and center. And so, last, let's just take a look at the debt. Here we are right now. Look at this. Where we at right here? This is where we at right now. Public debt, as I just mentioned. And this is off a quarter. $37 trillion. 37 trillion. And better yet, let me give it to you in a different way. Let's go back to the almighty US debt clock, because it gives a much better perspective. Voila. There you have it. The most up-to-date figures. 37.843411 climbing. And 37 trillion, literally, must be accounted for some way, somehow. And then we look at the currency, M2. Here we are right now. And this is a quarter late, but it tells a very alarming tale. 22 as of August, $22 trillion. So you see the debt load. We owe 37 and there's 22 in circulation, and silver just $50. And so 1980, 50, as a result of a crisis, they slammed it down, remained stagnant. 2011-ish, as a result of a crisis, they printed cash, flooded the world with currency, they slammed it down. 2025, October 9th, another time frame, crises, $50 silver. Will they slam it down? We're going to have to wait and see. But definitely get your physical. Don't be left out in the cold. And so for those who might be new, you never know. That's why I want to continue to remind people the importance of getting your weight up. Get your weight up and getting involved in the silver game directly. And so on the screen here, as you can see, Quicksilver Wealth Accelerated Program, the best way to take possession of silver, dollar cost average in, have it automatically shipped to you, and then you'll get all the infrastructure you need to set up your own bullion store. You get inventory minus the headache, with the ability to share your store with others so people can get their weight up. And so I'd encourage you, if you have not, it's been a time. Literally, go to mysilverteam.com, links in the description. Join me, work with me. I will help you get set up and help you get everything up and operational so that you can make things happen. So once again, get your weight up, people. You need to do this. This is just one man's opinion, but then again, we know what time it is. And so as you can see right over here, Quicksilver. That's my little, backup kit. Got some ounces in there because I'm a part of the program. So anyway, just taking a minute, connecting. Endgame time, baby. Silver, 50. Where's it going to go? Let me know your thoughts. Drop a comment. Catch you later.